What's up, everybody? My name is OMG, WTF, LOLFT, WBRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, not 2020, where we are playing as the WWE in the year 2002, rebooking the brand era with our own little spin on it because this is season 2 of the Invasion era. So there's no Raw versus SmackDown, it's Raw versus Nitro still. We're still in the war, it's just not on Monday nights anymore, and it's now fought under the same umbrella. Anyway, let's cover this up, shall we? I don't think that spoiled anything, but we did have a little bit of a match preview there, or I guess card preview. That's going to be leaked and put on the internet now for the world to see. Oh, look at this match card from Saturday, week 4, May 2002 of one of the Sunday Night Heat Super Shows. Isn't it interesting to see how WWE books their stuff on paper like everybody else? Anyway, today, in case you haven't noticed yet, we will be booking the Sunday Night Heat Super Show, which is the pay-per-view, I guess, program for Sunday Night Heat. It's not a pay-per-view, it's just a special event that airs on MTV. It's kind of like the Heat before the pay-per-view, kind of like they used to do in the old days, where like it was kind of like that last selling point to get people to buy the pay-per-view before it airs. That's kind of like what this is, with a little bit of incentive to also add that Sunday Night Heat is its own brand, so it's got its own special program as well, and special matches. Tonight, we will be seeing the first ever Heat Heavyweight, or Scott, not, well, whatever. I guess you could call them the Heat Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, but the Heat Tag Team titles will be on the line for the very first time here tonight. And we will see who will be our first team to win that. Will it be the team of Steven Richards and Tommy Dreamer? Not Steven Richards and Tommy Dreamer. I have no idea why I said that. The team of the Sandman and Tommy Dreamer. Steven Richards' right to censor, which is Charlie and his brother Russ Haas. His cousins, air quotations there. Too Cool being represented by Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty. Or the new team of the Alpha Males, which is Mark Henry and Primetime Monty Brown. Which, speaking of Monty Brown, before we get started, I guess there's been some interesting news about Monty Brown. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I guess it was someone reached out, most likely AEW, possibly WWE. Hell, it could have even been Impact with their whole, trying to bring some of their old stars back deal, like where they had the Motor City Machine Guns, EC3, Eric Young, all of them kind of return. Maybe they were asking Monty Brown if he wanted to return. Either way, somebody, I guess, asked Monty Brown if he wanted to make a return to wrestling, and Monty Brown actually turned it down. That rhymed. Monty Brown did not want to return to pro wrestling, so thought that was interesting. Maybe just thought that, not sure if you guys heard of that, brought it to your attention. And one more thing I'd like to bring up before we go ahead and start this video is I want to kind of apologize if the audio sounds a little different or anything. I am recording in a different room today, so different vibrations or whatever the hell they call that. I'm a little closer to the mic in this room, and my mic is also a little closer to the laptop, so you may hear me clicking a lot in this video because, well, you'll hear me clicking the next and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize for that now, and also probably apologize for the obligatory that this video may end before I actually want it to end kind of thing because of the whole stupid drop frame things, but who cares? Anyway, let's go ahead. Stop wasting time. Let's start this show, shall we? Couple of pre-show matches here tonight. I made sure to get everybody on the Heat brand on the card because I like to do that. Being held in front of 52,000 people here tonight. Damn, that's good. Anyway, though, so we got a couple of pre-show matches here. First, opening up with Joe E. Legend issuing an open challenge, which is, I almost said issued again, which is accepted by, well, what would you call him? He's not a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't call him a legend either. One of the, I guess, all-time great jobbers in WWE history. Barry Horowitz, everyone. One of my personal favorite wrestlers, actually. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think Barry Horowitz is freaking great. But nonetheless, he was one of the local superstars that I figured could do us a favor here and give Joey Legend a little bit of a job here tonight. So anyway, we go to the match, which gets a 23 E-, the same as the opening promo did. We have an abysmal pre-show matchup here. Joey Legend goes over Barry Horowitz. What else is new? After 6 minutes and a second, after beating him with the legendary elbow. Commentary and announcing definitely helped the match here tonight. Legend had an in-ring performance of a 21, so he did outperform Barry Horowitz. That is promising. It's good to know that someone who's past their prime and is probably aging and going down, he is occasional, only a semi-active wrestler right now, so good to know that Joey Legend performs a little higher than Barry Horowitz. I do it. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead. We are going to write down Legend's performance here, and if I can remember, I'm going to check his popularity to his match performance to see kind of where the difference is there. We are in front of the Mid-Atlantic as well, so let's go ahead and put that down as well, just to kind of compare it to at least the Mid-Atlantic, because he's not going to gain popularity everywhere, only in this region. Anyway, no worker improvements to comment on. Let's move on to our next segment here. Oh boy, the Brooklyn Brawler has informed us that Barry Horowitz was wasted on drugs in this match. Thank you for that, Barry Horowitz. Now I'm going to have to pay Joey Legend some money because he's going to be mad. Moving on, we have yet another two local superstars being brought in here tonight. Tatanka and the Tongan Kid. Tongan Kid wrestled with the WWE for a little while. A lot of people may more recognize him now from his time on the dark side of the ring. I believe he was on the Jimmy Snuka episode. I think he was the person they talked to who actually was in the car, I guess, when they asked if Jimmy Snuka's girlfriend Nancy had fallen or not. He said that she never fell or whatever it was. Anyway, though, we hired Tatanka and the Tongan Kid for the night to help do the job for the Samoan Savages, hit just like we did for Barry Horowitz. The only difference with Barry Horowitz and Tatanka and the Tongan Kid is the crowd liked Barry Horowitz. Apparently, they don't like Tatanka and the Tongan Kid. Anyway, an abysmal pre-show matchup here. The Samoan Savages go over Tatanka and the Tongan Kid in 6 minutes, 17 seconds when Chemo defeated the Tongan Kid with a Samoan drop. Apparently, Tatanka carried the match in terms of in-ring performances despite the crowd hating him, and the Tongan Kid was the weak link struggling to keep up with everybody else here tonight. 35 E+ rating for the matchup, and as I kind of alluded to, pretty vocal crowd was not particularly thrilled to see Tatanka wrestle, nor were they thrilled to see the Tongan Kid, stuttering there. In fact, apparently the hot crowd was against the Tongan Kid, chanting for him to not come back. That's fucked up. Tatanka's getting better at his gimmick, as is the Tongan Kid, so at least they made the most of their appearance despite the crowd hating them. Color and announcing, of course, helped as always. Tongan Kid had a 17 in-ring performance. Tatanka had a 40, so I'm not sure why the crowd hated him so much. And Chemo and Umaga at the same here, both with a 28 in-ring performance. So I guess that's good that none of them are outperforming each other since we want to push them as a team. Moving on. Our next pre-show matchup. Wow, this did a lot better than I thought it was. I actually thought that this match was going to suck. I thought this was going to be like an F rating because they're not particularly well known. Scott Sabbath doesn't seem like he's the best wrestler around. But this did a lot better than I thought it would have done. Wow. 37 D-. That's incredible, Nigel. 37 D- here, an abysmal pre-show matchup. Scott Sabbath, one of our developmental talents, one of our superstars on the Heat roster, taking on one of our developmental talents, Ricky Banderas, better known as Mil Mascaras to some of you. And 6 minutes, 2 seconds by pinfall with a cure. So Sabbath, one of those guys that we're trying to push. That's kind of what the pre-show is kind of reserved for here tonight. Some of those guys that we want to help build some momentum for that aren't necessarily ready for the main portion of the card, but can help get some momentum on the pre-show while hyping the crowd up and getting the crowd a little bit more familiar with them. Anyway, Sabbath gets the victory over Ricky Banderas here. Banderas was off his game, but what I think really saved this matchup here tonight is the fact that Scott Sabbath and Ricky Banderas have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. So a match that honestly should have probably been maybe an E-rated match at best has now become a D-. This might be Scott Sabbath and Ricky Banderas' best match to date. That's pretty incredible. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Also, if you don't know who Scott Sabbath is, he's known as Scott Vick, I believe, that back in his time in WCW. He was a member of Raven's Flock. And the reason that I named him Scott Sabbath is because one of the wrestlers that, I've come up with here in the business a little bit. Little backstory from me, I'm kind of a wrestler, although I don't get to wrestle as often as I would like. Scott, on the other hand, one of the wrestlers that I have come up with, gets to wrestle quite often, and in fact, he has improved a shit ton from the first time I've seen him. Scott, in my opinion, is the best of us all, of I guess the people that I've trained with, at least, the best of us all. And he's a good friend of mine, and I wanted to kind of honor him since I think Scott Vick kind of looks like him in a way as well. So I named him Scott Sabbath. Why not? And if any of you are interested, go ahead and look up Scott Sabbath versus anyone. If you see a match by referee Sean Rankin, that's where a lot of the wrestling matches that I've participated in, and a lot of the wrestling matches for the company that I compete for are uploaded. So that's in my description down below if you're ever curious. You can go ahead and click the description, show more. I've got a bunch of people that you can check out. Referee Sean Rankin is on there. Bunch of Scott Sabbath's matches are on there. My debut match is on there. I've only had one match as the character. I guess we can call it the character. My current gimmick, I've worked as another gimmick in the past, kind of with a mask. This is me finally working without the mask, kind of being myself finally. So I've only had one match since then, but you can look that up as well. But I plan on making another YouTube channel and uploading that over there, so I'll promote that and when I do that. But go ahead, check out referee Sean Rankin. Definitely a lot of matches on there. I recommend looking up my buddies, Scott Sabbath, like I've already said, Aaron Andrews, the Iron Manzi, yes, Iron Manzi, just like that, and the Yeti. There's a shit ton of people. HIW specifically, that's the company I wrestle for. Give it a look, please. I'd greatly appreciate it. Didn't mean to go on a little bit of a tangent there, but Scott was there, and I figured why not talk about it since we got it here. Let's move on about here. We already know about their great chemistry. Scott Sabbath with an in-ring performance of a 39. Damn, that's not too shabby. This could have been on the main card, to be honest. And Ricky Banderas with a 26. Sabbath might have something. Moving on, we have our next match, our main event of the pre-show, which is a kind of a crossover matchup. It is Team Nitro versus Team Heat. 59 solid C rating here, as we've got Team Nitro being represented by the WCW Cruiserweight Champion Rey Mysterio Jr., Billy Kidman. Ooh, I probably shouldn't have put Rey Mysterio in this match. He is technically on the pay-per-view later tonight. It's a bit of an oversight on my part, but I guess it's okay. He didn't get injured either, so it's okay. The match, it won't matter because technically this is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday, but a little bit of an oversight from, I guess, the storyline perspective and kayfabe perspective from here. Rey Mysterio probably should have been in this match. Anyway, though, like I said, Team Nitro being represented by Rey Mysterio Jr., the Cruiserweight Champion, Billy Kidman, Chavo Guerrero Jr., and Head Chop, which is Al Snow and Funaki. Team Heat, represented by Sean Stasiak, Justin Incredible, Mike Sanders, and... oh, crap. What is their... I forget their freaking tag team name. I can't remember their tag team name, but Easy Money and Reno, the Vegas Boys, or whatever their name is. I can't remember it, damn it. Anyway, pre-show match that had subpar wrestling and little heat to it. Team Heat gets the victory. I mean, I have to get my Heat guys over, so they're going to get the win. Sean Stasiak, Credible, Sanders, Easy Money, and Reno defeated Mysterio, Kidman, Chavo Guerrero, Al Snow, and Funaki in 9 minutes, 36 seconds after Sean Stasiak beats Al Snow by pinfall. 59, solid C rating for the matchup. Funaki getting better at his gimmick there. Tank Abbott doing some good work at ringside. Easy Money apparently off his game, really off his game, which is unfortunate. Gail Kim doing some good work ringside. Easy Money is getting better at his gimmick, which is awesome. Funaki with a 51 in-ring performance, Al Snow with a 59, Chavo with a 60, Kidman with a 60, and Mysterio with a 62, so Funaki was the weakest on his team. Not the weakest in the match, though. Reno with a 39, Easy Money with a 41, Mike Sanders with a 43, Just Incredible with a 48, and Sean Stasiak with a 63. So Stasiak not only was the best in this matchup, best on his team, Reno was the worst in the match and worst on his team. As for improvements, Funaki is improving in his Rumble, Just Incredible is improving in his flying, and Billy Kidman is improving in his Rumble skills. So all the Nitro guys got some improvements, but, well, Just Incredible's on Heat. Not a lot of Heat guys, though, getting improvements in this match, which is a bit unfortunate. Okay, I'm going to take a drink of our sponsor of the video, who's not really our sponsor, but hell, if you want to sponsor me and give me some money, I ain't going to lie and deny you. Anyway, thanks to Monster Energy for providing me with this drink, which will not hydrate me whatsoever. When will I learn? Oh, that's refreshing. I can feel my tongue getting drier by the second. Okay, let's start the Sunday Night Heat Super Show. We're going to advertise, the pay-per-views tonight, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, 63 solid C open up after kind of hyping up, trying to sell the pay-per-view Starrcade, which is tonight. The Super Show opens up with the Heat heavyweight champion Chuck Palumbo and the One, Billy Gunn, making their way towards the ring. And as the announcer begins to do his job and will, of course, announce the match is for the Heat heavyweight championship, Chuck Palumbo cuts him off and takes the mic away from him. And he goes, no, this match is not for the Heat heavyweight title. There isn't a damn person in the back who deserves a shot at my championship. And aside from that, with all this tag title crap going on, no one is the rightful #1 contender to my championship. And I'm not going to reward some maniac stalker like my ex-best friend, Sean O'Haire, to get a title shot after he cost Billy and I an opportunity at the tag team titles. And if you've got a problem with that, Mr. Heyman, then you know my number. Because Billy and I, we're getting out of here. We're going to go grab a drink or two. And as they make their way out of the ring, Sean O'Haire's music hits, and out comes the Raging Bull himself, Sean O'Haire. You better turn your ass around and get back in that ring, because title match or not, I'm still kicking your ass tonight. Palumbo finally gets back in the ring. He looks at him. Dude, you can't be serious. You can't be serious. You seriously need to move on already and get over what happened. Stop taking things so personally, and don't use that bros before hoes craps, because we were never friends. Just two soldiers doing what they needed to do, and you know what? You know what? I don't care about how Stacy and I ended. I'd dump you over for her any day of the week. So just get the hell over it already. We're not fighting, and you sure as hell aren't getting a title match without the right qualifications. Now, if you'll excuse me. Hold on there a minute, Chucky. You're right about one thing. That title won't be on the line tonight. But if it's a fight you're looking for, O'Haire, well, come on and join us in the ring. Let's see how you handle two men. Because I ain't going nowhere. And Billy Gunn alluding to the fact that this 2-on-1 here, Chuck Palumbo kind of smiling like, yeah, you want to fight? Come on, let's go. There's two of us here, one of you. Let's do this. Sean O'Haire is going to take the challenge because, well, he's just bloodthirsty. He wants revenge. He wants to beat the living hell out of Chuck Palumbo pretty much for betraying him. And as he makes his way towards the ring to get into this fight, the lights go off. The opening to Metallica's Seek and Destroy plays. Anyway, the lights come back on. The Stinger, Friday Night Nitro Sting, is standing right next to Sean O'Haire. Of course, this is one of those crossover episodes, so we may see some Nitro talent here tonight. Sting's not scheduled for any action, so no surprise to see him here. Sting looks at Sean O'Haire and he goes, you know, Sean, going against the numbers is always a bad idea. Trust me on that one. I've experienced it. But you know, my schedule's free tonight, and I've been itching for a fight. So what do you say? Is it showtime? O'Haire shakes his head, nods it up and down. You're damn right, it's showtime. Maybe Sting lets out a big woo! That was a horrible woo, but I'm just not committed enough to do it. And we have our, I guess, impromptu tag team opening matchup here tonight, which will see Sean O'Haire team up with Nitro's Sting to take on the team of Chuck Palumbo and the One, Billy Gunn. Apparently this segment deserved better color commentary. Good to know our color commentary team can't do better than a 63C. Palumbo looked good, Billy Gunn was underwhelming, and Sting, of course, was good as well. Damn, good to know Chuck Palumbo can handle his own with Sting, though. Gained heat for the feud, no worker improvements. Let's go into our opening match of the night. 66C plus rating and a decent matchup here. Sean O'Haire and Sting go over the Heat Heavyweight Champion Chuck Palumbo and the one Billy Gunn in 12 minutes, 52 seconds when Sting defeats Billy Gunn by submission with the Scorpion Deathlock. Unfortunately, Billy Gunn was the weak link in this matchup, struggling to keep up with everyone else. I'd like to imagine as Sting has that Scorpion's Deathlock is, Sean O'Haire is just begging Chuck Palumbo to get back in the ring, and Palumbo's just kind of backing away, leaving Billy Gunn alone in the ring as he's just like, I'm done, dude. I'm not having any of that. And yeah, Sean O'Haire and Sting get that victory. So Billy Gunn with a 42 in-ring performance, Chuck Palumbo with a 68, Sting with a 68 as well. So look at Palumbo making his point, saying, hey, I'm on the same level as Sting now. I mean, I know Sting's aging, but still, come on. And Sean O'Haire with a 59 in-ring performance. Gained heat for the storyline. No worker improvements. As we move on to our next segment, Static takes over the screen. We have that beep, beep. You know, one of those emergency kind of beep things going over as the Right to Censor logo takes over. And a voice can be heard going, the following message is approved by the RTC. Excuse me. And then the static or the screen goes blank. There's the Right to Censor, Steven Richards, Russ Haas, and Charlie Haas. Richards begins to talk. Ladies and gentlemen, now, I would never promote stealing other people's work, but I feel the only time it is acceptable is when you are recording history. Which is why tonight, I hope you are all documenting this, because tonight will be the death of Paul Heyman's chaotic vision. Thus, leading to the historic birth of a more child-friendly presentation, a new era for Sunday Night Heat, the PG era. And all that begins with you, my dear cousins. No pressure, though, because there is no team more up to the challenge than the Haas brothers. Oh, Auntie would be so proud of you two. And as for the other three teams tonight, I wouldn't worry. No one takes Rikishi and Scotty seriously. The Alpha Males are too inexperienced. And then there's Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman. And that's when all three of them look at each other and they just can't laugh or can't stop or can't help themselves. They all just burst into a laughter, all laughing at the mere thought of Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman winning the tag team championships. It is kind of funny. Anyway, Stevie continues. My thoughts exactly. No matter, though. You know, and no matter what Happy Heyman throws at us tonight, you too will walk away as the first Heat Tag Team champions, and thus setting us on the path of righteousness, because you two have a secret weapon that no other team has. You have a third man. Me! And there's no way we'll lose. And imagine they just laugh as that kind of ends the promo there. Before we go on and move on, we do have a couple of things to talk about here. Kamala, some of you may or may not know who Kamala is. He's kind of a WWE legend, and is he a Hall of Famer now? I think he actually is a Hall of Famer. Anyway, Kamala has officially retired from in-ring competition. No more will the Ugandan giant wrestle, and I think we can all be thankful for that. WWC, the Puerto Rican company, which was owned by Carlos Colon, Carlito, Primo, and Epico, well, not Epico, Carlito and Primo's dad, Epico's uncle, I believe, is now owned by Dixie Carter, and Dixie Carter has now hired Terry Taylor, James Storm, and the Grim Reaper. I'd imagine Terry Taylor is there to work as a road agent, while James Storm and Grim Reaper are two new talents. We all know who James Storm is, I hope. I have no idea who the Grim Reaper is, though, but that name is amazing. Goldberg is now considered toned. I'm not sure if that's a downgrade or not, but still good for him. Sylvester Turk Kai, who was one of our old developmental stars, and some of you may remember him. He briefly teamed with Elijah Burke on the ECW brand. He won his MMA fight that he was scheduled for, And Lizzie Valentine is now dating John Cena. I don't know if you guys have heard of John Cena. He's a bit of a niche person out there. But I thought it might be interesting to fill you in on what's happening with this superstar that you may or may not have heard of. But Cena now dating Lizzie Valentine. May not be no Nikki Bella, but it's a start of one of many to come. I'll have to show you Lizzie Valentine just in case none of you guys know who she is. I had no idea who she is either. But we'll show you just to see, just so you can see who she looks like. I'll have to try to remember to do that towards the end of the video. Anyway, Charlie Haas is getting better at his gimmick. Unfortunately, though, this did lose heat for both the Richards and Heyman storyline and Monty Brown and Rikishi storyline. Damn, thanks Richard. Thanks, Stevie. Moving on, I guess not. Moving on, 54. Wow, this is a lot better than I thought. 54 C- rating here as we are back from our commercial break. Justin Incredible is standing in the ring alongside Tank Abbott, and he's got something to say. Hey, is this thing on? Give me that mic. Hey, Paulie. What the hell, man? I've been calling you for weeks, wondering when my next match is, wondering when Tank and I are going to get our qualifying match, but no. Instead of an already established team getting a shot, let's give it to a brand new team. Or better yet, let's call Shane McMahon and borrow one of his guys, and then probably pay them a little something to lay down so your new pet project can get over. Well, if you won't answer my calls and give me a match, then I'm going to take action into my own hands. And Tank and I aren't going to move from this spot until you, Mr. Heyman, add Tank and I into tonight's tag team title match. But until then, consider us on strike. And Just Incredible and Tank Abbott get comfortable in the ring as they await the arrival of Paul Heyman. But instead of the general manager coming out comes Hardcore Holly, who's about to experience a poor face turn. Let's just say that, but it needs to happen. Anyway, out comes Hardcore Holly, and we have to pull up our handy-dandy notebook here, but anyway. Now look, I'm going to make this brief. Either you two dumbasses get out of the ring, or I'm going to come in there, I'm going to whoop both your asses, okay? Oh, come on, Bob. You're going to beat both of us up? In case you didn't know, Tank's a former MMA superstar. And last I checked, there's two of us and one of you. Oh, I don't give a damn what Tank has done in the past. I'll still beat his ass, and I'll use your skinny ass to beat him with. Now, I can count, Justin, and I can see there's two of you. But I'm going to give you until I get in that ring, and if you two aren't gone, I'm beating both your asses. What's your deal anyway, Bob? Aren't you sick of being overlooked too? First Raw and Nitro look over all three of us, and now Paulie does too. Doesn't that piss you off? You're damn right it pisses me off. But you know what pisses me off more? Is some entitled punks who think they're over the world when they don't put any damn effort in. You want to know why no one cares about you two? It's because you're shaped like a toothpick and he's a fat former MMA fighter. Now I'm in the ring, so y'all know what that means. Well, I guess it's a damn shame that there's two of us in... Oh, fuck. This credible voice is killing me, and I don't even know if it's accurate. It's a damn shame that there's two of you and one of us. That made no sense. That was like a Sid Vicious promo. Two of us and one of you, because I'm not moving, and Tank's standing right between us, and I don't see you moving him either. And that's when Hardcore Holly and Tank Abbott get in each other's faces. Abbott just kind of grabs his face and pushes him by it. I don't know if you guys know what I'm saying there. He pushes him by his face, and while he Incredible kind of laugh at Holly's expense, Hardcore Holly retaliates and hits Tank with a stiff punch, sending him down and starting out an impromptu matchup here. We love our impromptu matchups, don't we? So announcing help, Tank Abbott came across well. Of course, Hardcore Holly's face turn did not get a good one because the crowd still remembers his last turn. I hate to do it, but I need faces on Sunday Night Heat. Hardcore Holly's about to get a fat-ass paycheck for this, but I need faces. Here we go. Yep. They did not like the turn. Complete disaster, but you know what? They'll get over it eventually. So here we go. Let's go for our next matchup here, which is between Hardcore Holly and Tank Abbott 52D plus rating here in a terrible matchup. Wow, you know what did better than this is Ricky Banderas. And did they do better? They might not have done better. But Ricky Banderas and Scott Sabbath was at least close to this matchup. Terrible matchup. Tank Abbott defeats Hardcore Holly in 7 minutes, 44 seconds. I don't know why it says while using the ropes for leverage. It was supposed to say with managerial interference. That's clearly what I put in the description there. But nonetheless, TEW doesn't like when I book, apparently. So the way I'd imagine this match ending is the referee distracted at some point and Hardcore Holly, just Incredible hitting Hardcore Holly with some sort of weapon, and then Tank Abbott hitting him with a move, 1, 2, 3, and he wins. That's how I imagine it happened. Just Incredible pretty much costing Hardcore Holly the match here tonight. Anyway, Holly with an in-ring performance of a 50, Abbott with a 43, advances the new storyline between Just Incredible and Hardcore Holly, and a 52D plus for the matchup. Moving on, 55C minus rating here, as now we have Just Incredible and Tank Abbott just beating down on Hardcore Holly, looking to make an example out of him for making a fool out of them earlier. And that is when Ron Waterman, another former, I guess, MMA fighter, it says he's from like UFC and Pride and whatnot, he, I guess, makes his, I don't know if this is his official Heat debut, but we're going to go ahead and say this is his official Heat debut, as he makes the save for Hardcore Holly, and Credible and Abbott kind of run away. I'd imagine maybe Abbott's a bit afraid or intimidated by Waterman, since he himself is also a former MMA fighter. So anyway, Waterman making the save for Hardcore Holly, and who knows, maybe we'll see a bit of a pairing there as well. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Gaining heat for the storyline, always a good thing. 55C minus, that's not a too shabby segment if I say so myself. We move on to our next segment here, which gets a 51D plus rating here. Josh Matthews backstage with Primetime Monty Brown and Mark Henry. Let's send it to him. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me at this time is one of the 4 teams competing for the Heat Tag Team titles here tonight. The new team of Primetime Monty Brown and the World's Strongest Man Mark Henry, the Alpha Males. And that's when they enter. Brown goes, "Man, that was a good introduction, Josh, but you know what you should have said? Is instead of one of the 4 blah, 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 whatever you just said, what you should have said is the future Heat Tag Team Champions, because that's what we are." Well, much like Stevie Richards and the Right Two Censors, it seems like you two, don't you think you're overlooking your opponents? Overlooking? No. You see, Mark and I understand that our opponents are no slouches. It just doesn't matter, Joshua, because what you see is Richards and his choir club, along with those extremely crappy wrestlers, and Fatty Fatu and his dancing monkey, don't have is mojo. Mojo? That's right. Mojo. They ain't got none. But the Alpha Males ooze mojo. There's a reason why we're the Alpha Males, Joshua. We ain't no Beta Males, okay? But, nonetheless, tonight, Josh, you and the rest of them are going to learn. Just watch, okay? Come on, big guy. And a little bit of a promo there from the Alpha Males, kind of putting over the tag title match tonight. Mark Henry was good, advanced the storylines. No worker improvements, though, as we move on. What the hell is Mojo? All right, we have a Cruiserweight Championship qualifier, or not qualifier, but a #1 contendership battle royal for the Cruiserweight Championship. Whoever wins this matchup will challenge the winner of Rey Mysterio and Dean Malenko this Friday on Nitro for the Cruiserweight Championship. And it is Showtime, Elix Skipper, Billy Kidman, Chavo Guerrero Jr., Dizzy Hyde, Funaki, Grandmaster Sexay, Jamie Noble, Jerry Lynn, Kelso Courageous, and Spike all competing here. And about that had subpar wrestling and little heat to it. Chavo Guerrero Jr. wins the Battle Royal in 10 minutes, 12 seconds. Apparently the other members of the Final Four were Billy Kidman, Funaki, and Grandmaster Sexay, with Billy Kidman being the final elimination and Sexay getting the most eliminations over the course of the match. But I'm going to say, wrong. No, that is incorrect. I would like to imagine that maybe instead of Funaki making it to the Final Four, Jamie Noble made it to the Final Four. And I'd also like to imagine that Noble threw over Grandmaster Sexay after maybe Nydia distracted him, and Noble was all hyping up and whatnot over that. And then, of course, he gets eliminated. And then finally, between Billy and Chavo, with Chavo eliminating Billy Kidman to win the match. So a bit of a happy ending, I guess, for Chavo here after he's been decimated by the Giant for weeks now. And he almost had an opportunity at the heavyweight championship. This past Nitro, in fact, he took on the Giant to earn his uncle's spot since Eddie won't be here tonight. But he didn't win that match, obviously. But now at least he's getting a Cruiserweight title match, so that's a plus, I guess. Gotta love Monster. Okay. Funaki and Spike are getting better at their gimmick. Did lose heat, which is unfortunate. And I don't think there's anything I want changed here, so. Spike is improving in his performance skills. And Elix Skipper is improving in his technical skills. Good stuff. All right. Yes. Moving on, we got a 62 solid C rating here as the Right to Censor make their way to the ring for the tag team title match, which is next. And Richard goes to grab the mic as usual, but he is cut off by the arrival of Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention for just a moment, please. I know coming up next was our scheduled tag team title match, but I'm afraid there's been some confusion. Because as always, the card is subject to change. And while we still will be having our tag team title match for the brand new Heat Tag Team Championships, but it is you, Mr. Richards, that I've forgotten to inform. What are you blathering on about, Paul? Inform me of what? Your match. My match? Yes. The Heat Super Show wouldn't be complete without one of our top stars in action. Well, it's hard to disagree with that. I've got to manage my cousins tonight, so I'm a bit busy. Oh, but you see, this match is going to determine whether you will be allowed ringside for the tag title match. Got to pull up the handy-dandy notepad for the last time here tonight. Wait, what? What are you... I guess I forgot to add that part in. So, loud for that tag team title match, blah, 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 blah. What are you trying to get with here, Heyman? You see, if you don't win this matchup, then it's quite simple. You won't be allowed ringside with your cousins. And then finally, what? You can't do that. I am the general manager of this program, so yes, I can do that, and I did. Abuse of power. Abuse of power. This is exactly the kind of thing that we're going to get rid of in the PG era. Ooh, I can't wait to see that happen. Be quiet, Paul. Who am I facing anyway? Don't tell me Taz there's going to come out of retirement for the night, because I'm a nice guy, Paul, but one Stevie kick, and he may not be able to walk again. Easy, Taz, easy. No, Taz isn't your opponent. You'll be facing this guy. And then that's when Batista's music hits, and out comes the animal Batista, who makes his way towards the ring, while Steven Richards just looks terrified because he realizes, crap, I gotta fight that guy. So, here we go. This is Batista's biggest match to date, so hopefully he'll gain some pop off of this. I don't know if I'm spoiling anything here, but anyway, moving on. That did gain heat for the Steven Richards, Paul Heyman storyline, and Batista is developing better performance skills. Good for him. So we go to the match between Batista and Steven Richards, which gets a 48. What do you, what? What does it mean, dangerous spots? What the fuck? It's just a regular match. What were they trying to do? Okay. 48 D plus rating here in a terrible matchup. Batista defeats Steven Richards in 3 minutes 15 seconds with the Batista bomb. Announcing and color commentary helped this matchup. Here's the thing I don't really understand. It says, the dangerous spots in the match didn't go down well. With some parts of the crowd, it was too much for them. What are they talking about? What dangerous spots? It was a regular matchup. I'm so freaking confused. It's a one-on-one regular match. There's nothing. What? Main show. What the hell does that even mean? Dangerous spots. I don't. Why were match danger to be? It's what kind of match did I book this to be? Is it just? It's just a regular freaking match. I don't think it's anything special. Very low. Very low. I don't. What? What kind of match is this? Why was what happened? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I don't know what are they talking about? The dangerous spots in the match didn't go. Why was there dangerous spots in the match? It's 3 minutes. Why did you guys do anything dangerous? It's just a one-on-one match. Look. 3 minutes. Type 1v1. Just 1v1. It doesn't say 1v1 hardcore. It doesn't say match prestige very low. Match risk very low. What the fuck are you talking about? Dangerous spots. Dumbass. I don't even understand what that means. You're not my dad. Whatever. Anyway, I can't get over that. Batista had an in-ring performance of a 38. Steven Richards with a 55. Did lose heat for the storyline. No worker improvements. Still not sure what the dangerous spots were, but 48 D plus all around. Okay, so we have a 52 D plus as we head into our main event with all the teams now in the ring. I'd imagine they've all done their entrances. Of course, the right to censor was already out there, so out comes two cool alpha males, Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman. They're all in the ring. Paul Heyman now joins them. Gentlemen, tonight you 8 men will make history as you compete for the right to be known as the first Heat Tag Team Champions. Now, I've kept you all waiting long enough now, so it's time to announce the match type you all compete in. And I've given this some thought. And I wanted the match to represent the chaos that comes in the tag division. And over the past years, teams like the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian have all gone from nobodies to somebodies because of their actions in the TLC match. And tonight, I challenge you 4 teams to do the same damn thing. Tonight, I give you not only the opportunity to be the first Heat Tag Team Champions, but to make your name. The world is watching, gentlemen. Ring the bell! And the match rings, and a TLC match is underway as the title is being lowered down. And I'd imagine maybe, well, there's no need to bring out tables, ladders, and chairs. There's plenty of them under the ring. Here we go. Tag titles are on the line. You may notice that Steven Richards is with Russ Haas still. Technically, he's not supposed to be, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So 52 D plus rating, no improvements, no advancements. Let's get to the matchup. Okay. How's the match do? Ooh, I wish I would have done better. 52 D plus rating in a terrible matchup. Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman defeat Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty. They defeat the Alpha Males, and they defeat, most important of all, the right to censor in 14 minutes 43 seconds when the Sandman retrieved the titles, pulling them down. During the match, we also had Steven Richards run in and attack Tommy Dreamer, but nonetheless, Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman are the first ever Heat Tag Team Champions. So the main finish of what I'd imagine happening here is Tommy Dreamer is climbing up. He's about to grab the titles. Steven Richards isn't having any of it. He finally races back down to the ring, and he climbs up the ladder since no one else is really up. He goes after Tommy Dreamer, pushes him off. I'd imagine Tommy Dreamer falling through some tables here. I didn't want to. I considered making it like a crazy spot or something, but I don't know. I didn't want to. It's not a crazy spot in my opinion because I think the crazy spot entitles more of like jumping off a crazy height or going through some like freaking crazy amount of stuff, not just falling off a ladder through tables. Maybe it does. I know it's crazy when you think about it, but I don't think that's what the game lists as a crazy spot. And I don't think it's also considered a stunt spot because there's no real way that you can make that easy. So I guess it could be a crazy spot, but I figured it's a TLC match. People are going to go through tables. It's kind of expected. Nonetheless, I'd imagine maybe Steven Richards knocking Tommy Dreamer off, him falling down, going through a bunch of tables, and then Steve Richards realizing that he can't pull the titles down. But, maybe not. No. Richards is going to pull the titles down. Everyone's down. He's a member of the Right to Censor. He's going to pull the titles down. He'll argue that they still won. And as he's doing it, of course, the Sandman starts to make his way up. Richards is kind of frozen in fear, like kind of, whoa, no, don't do this. Sandman makes his way up the ladder. And imagine with the Singapore cane, he whacks Richards maybe in the back before he can get to the titles or before he can get down. And climbs the ladder and pushes him down or something, whatnot. Richards falls through a table as well. Sandman pulls the titles down. New tag team champions. There you go. I over-explained that a bit too much. But anyway, Steven Richards, of course, doing good work ringside because I guess he technically was there. Russ and Steven Richards have that chemistry. Mark Henry was visibly tired towards the end, which is a bit unfortunate. He got a bit exposed, I guess. But anyway, Russ had an in-ring performance of a 46. Charlie Haas had a 51. Scotty 2 Hottie had a 45. Rikishi had a 60, which is probably the best of the match. Mark Henry with a 44. Primetime Monty Brown with a 43. The Sandman with a 46. And Tommy Dreamer with a 56. And all in all, yeah, that ends off Sunday Night Heat with the new tag team champions of Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman. Dreamer's improving in his performance, as is Primetime Monty Brown. We end off the show. Probably not, I imagine MTV's not going to be too happy. In fact, this show did lose its popularity in 17 regions. That's the downside of these Heat Super shows. I don't think they'll last very long, if I'm being honest with you. I think MTV is going to be like, no more Heat Super shows. And it might be for the better because anytime we do these damn shows, we lose popularity. 54 C- for the show overall. That's not bad for Sunday Night Heat, but this is technically supposed to be a pay-per-view, I guess. So it's supposed to be pay-per-view standard. Anyway, who do we want to compliment here tonight? Who deserved it? You know who deserved it? Freaking Scott Sabbath. We're going to be sure to compliment him here tonight because, yeah, he only got a 37, but he did way better than he should have. Also, who else? Who else won it? Who had the best match? The Cruiserweights, but that don't count. Maybe Ron Waterman. And then maybe try to lessen Hardcore Holly. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So we'll go Scott Sabbath. We're going to give him some encouragement. Hardcore Holly, we're going to tell him that they're awesome. And Ron Waterman, we're going to give some encouragement. So Sabbath, scene please. Hardcore Holly, scene please. And Ron Waterman, scene please. We are now in the loading stages. I feel the need to just warn you guys that sometimes during the stupid loading stages, it lags my video out, maybe drops frames. I don't know exactly what happens to quote, but sometimes my audio is a little delayed. I will be talking about things that haven't even appeared on the screen, or I'll be talking about things that have well passed, and I just seem like I'm still leaning on a subject that are no longer on the screen anymore. Nonetheless, sometimes my audio is a bit off in these points, and sometimes the video abruptly ends before I want it to. I try to catch it, but sometimes I'm not able to. I apologize for it in advance. I'm sure you all understand. New Japan had a show. I guess we can go ahead and look at that real quick since there was no, developmental programs. Not a big show. In fact, only 2 matches. But anyway, we have 2 pre-show matches. Kengo Kimura defeated Tetsuhiro Kurudo. And Hiro Saito defeated Michiyoshi Ohara. Then we opened up with Hiroshi Tenzan defeating Takashi Uwano? I don't know. 80. And then in the main event, Tatsuyumi Fujinami, Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Defeated Satoshi Kojima. The sad thing is I know Fujinami. Now, I know I'm pronouncing that right, actually. I'm pretty sure. He's a pretty big name, and I'm over here butchering it or thinking I'm messing it up. Dutchman, what? Oh, he's the new booker. I was like, but Dixie Carter is. So WWC announced their new head booker last night, and some insiders were unsurprised to find out that Dutch Mantell has gotten the job. He was a leading contender for the role from the very start and is now expected to implement a creative shakeup at the next show. I am a bit curious about that, actually, because now that he's booking, there should be like, come on, there should be like crazy changes now, I think, to the company, because Dixie Carter has taken over, and now Carlos Colon is no longer even booking the company like Dutch Mantell is. So I'm not sure if we'll see changes on this show or if it'll be the show afterwards, but I am definitely interested to keep an eye on the WWC to see how that goes. Feedback has been lukewarm. It doesn't seem to have gone down particularly well. That's why I really don't think they're going to last. We're going to look at their show as well. Look at this. Been pretty good, especially for a company of that size. Ray Gonzalez was said to be the star of the show. Triple H is once again wheeling and dealing his way around the WWE, forming political alliances that he hopes will work to his advantage. As usual, the rest of the locker room is far from happy. Kinkitaru, I forget I always freak this guy's name up. Anyway, he's the guy that wears like the goofy anime mask. I've never actually seen his freaking face. He's apparently on the rise. And a change for Rodney Mack. Rodney Mack looks to emerge in the coming months after he revealed in an exclusive interview that he felt his current brawler image is outdated and he wants to switch his focus to be more of an entertainer. Well, hopefully that works out for you. Let's go ahead and look at WWC Superstars de Lucha Libre. 40 D- rating here, as we open up the night with a 42 solid D rating as, who's El Nine? El Nine and Perioth Jr. defeated the team of Bad Reputation, which is Julio Estrada and Bostanwana Beast. Looks like Kamala. Then a 24 solid E rating as Horace Hogan goes to a no contest with Jason Blade. We have then a confrontation involving Lightning and Black Boy, 37 D- for that. And then a 29 E- rating as Lightning defeats Black Boy. That's a bit of a surprise. I don't think Lightning's a well-known guy. Pre-match interview, 63 solid C with Ray Gonzalez. And in our main event of the night, 40 D- rating, if I can speak right, as Barry Windham defeats Ray Gonzalez by disqualification. All right. So, Ronnie Mack changed it. MTV is unhappy. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Nonetheless, nothing too shocking here. Let me guess. Wow. I thought for sure I was going to need to get... Why is Stone Cold Steve Austin upset? Oh, he's mad about what I did with Deborah. I'm going to have to give him more money. Okay, hold on. Let's give Austin a fat-ass bonus of a $75,000, whatever it was, to shut him up. I was going to say, do not be mad still. Deborah, I'm not giving you shit, though. I could give two craps if you're mad or not. Okay, two things I wanted to do. We're going to go ahead and look at, who was it? Joey Legend, whose popularity, it was, I think, the Mid-Atlantic, if I'm correct. Popularity in the Mid-Atlantic is 16. Has it gone up? Well, it looks like it went down, if anything. No, 16 is what we're going to say it was. And he performed at a 21. So he does perform better than what he's rated at. And let's go ahead and show you guys John Cena's new girlfriend, developmental star Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Valentine, everybody. The current girlfriend to John Cena. Alright, let's go ahead and look at some storylines, see how those are all doing. Then let's go ahead. See how Hardcore Holly. Doesn't look like it affected him too much. And now we have another face. And I wanted to do something else. I just don't remember. Oh, I wanted to look at the title. See the the Heat Tag Team Championship, see if it's affected at all. So 45, solid D. I do think that dropped in prestige. I'm not entirely sure, though. But there we have it. We now have a Heat Heavyweight Champion and the Heat Tag Team Champions. I got nothing else I really want to talk about in this video, so I'm going to go ahead and start booking Starrcade, which is next. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, a like, a subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, don't forget